Hi, I'm Mark Valenti from CT RIA. I think most of you probably know who I am. I'm here with Andy Heller. Andy is a nationally known guru, has some really great ideas how to acquire real estate for all you investors out there. I'm going to let Andy kind of introduce himself before we get started in this, but uh, before he starts, I just want you to know that we've got a big weekend coming up next April. Andy and Alan Cowgill, who most of you know as well, another nationally known guru, have teamed up. It's amazing how their two programs just dovetail to get together. And I want Andy to tell you a little bit about himself and maybe what's coming up in the near future with real estate investing and how with his program you can get involved. Take it away, Andy.
Hey, Mark, thanks a lot. So everybody, I've not been to CT RIA in over a decade, so super excited about this weekend. So I'm going to start off with a little bit about me, what we're doing this weekend, and then why you should put a circle on your calendar for this. Make sure you're available for the entire weekend. And then maybe if Mark has a question or two, we'll finish up with that. So I've been investing for 35 years and got a really great story, everybody. On a whim, my real estate partner and I wrote a book about what our model. We got a phone call about 6 months after launch, and I thought it was a joke. It's from our publisher, Mark, and he said, "I'm not kidding you guys, but Fortune magazine wants to interview you. They got hold of your book." So they did this interview, and a few months later, our investment model, everybody, was profiled by Fortune magazine in an expose they did on real estate strategies among a top 5 wealth building models. And that's what led me to teaching, because I started getting calls from RIAs. I didn't even know much about RIAs. I was a member, but wasn't particularly active. I got calls from RIAs around the country to come and teach. And that led us to organize our intellectual property in a model that and a kit for investors of all experience levels to do in their own community. And I've been to CT RIA, I think 3 times in the past, but it's been over a decade. So my topic are how to buy property below market with a focus on bank-owned property before they hit MLS. There's even a nickname for this. It's called pocket listings. You have it in your pocket and nobody else knows about it. That's been our primary way to acquire property below market for, as I said, 35 years now. Once purchased, we teach you how to wholesale the properties. We teach you how to flip them. And for those that want to make even more money, but okay to wait, we teach you how to put these properties on what we call rent smart lease options and cash out, but down the road. And for those of you who want to have a bunch of properties owned outright for retirement, we'll show you how to take some of these REOs you bought below market and make sure you still own a bunch 20, 30 years down the road, and that can be your retirement. So Alan Cowgill is like the #1 guru on raising private money. And I was speaking at his boot camp, probably, Mark, 16, 17 years ago. And one of the students said, "You guys kind of fit like a glove. And you cover, Andy, how to buy property. And you cover how to make money once you've bought it. The gap there is financing." And Alan teaches people who want to invest today and don't have any capital how to raise money. And ever since then, I've been speaking at a regular at his boot camp. But what we did years ago is we put together this weekend and we offered it to RIAs where the two of us cover these 3 essentials for investing: buying below market, funding your purchases, and making money once you've bought these properties. And it was immensely popular. And of course, you got to be selective. You can only do this with the larger and better run RIAs. And we're now doing this again and bringing this to CT RIA in April. So why is this particular time so important? Well, I've been teaching again for about at RIAs for the last 24 months. And most of us know that values are kind of high right now. There's not as many deals as we investors would like. But I could not have said this, Mark, years ago. When you and I first met, I was too young. Now I'm old. And being old, I've now been investing through various real estate markets. And I tend to try to focus my bulk buy-in after markets reset. And if you look at some interesting patterns in this country, there's literally a reset every 8 to 12 years. We had the savings and loan fiasco in the 80s, followed by an opportunity for investors to buy property below market at great discounts that lasted 1 or 2 years. The next reset was 1999, again followed by a great buying opportunity for 1 or 2 years. The next reset, we all know about the Great Recession. That was a major reset. And most communities had an opportunity to buy below market for 2 to 3 years. In some markets, as much as 40 to 50% below market. So you notice the pattern, everybody, every 8 to 12 years. Okay, many people feel that we would have already seen the reset if it wasn't for the fact that during COVID, the government put a lot of money in the economy to keep the economy from collapsing. So here we are right now. And one of the things that I would point out to you is that when markets reset, they don't just happen. There are always signs, all right? And the two most common signs are that affordability doesn't line up. What that means is that you got a couple of middle-income homeowners to be can't afford a property in a middle-income community. That's a disconnect, all right? And eventually, those markets will align. So the family can buy a property. But the biggest sign that I look at and I study as an investor to prepare for these resets is when homeowners begin to get behind in their mortgages. That's a sign, what we call a leading indicator, that there's going to be a great opportunity in the future because many of those homeowners will lose their homes, values will fall, and deals will explode. We are already seeing that sign right now. And I'll be talking about that in April and how we today can prepare for that next reset. The last thing I'll say before we take your questions, Mark, is this. If you look at most investors who have been investing for 20 plus years and made good money in real estate, most of them will tell you they don't buy evenly. What I mean by that is they don't look at and buy 10 properties per year for 10 years. What they do is they buy as many as they can after resets when the deals are better, and then they buy fewer properties when markets have recovered or they're mature. And that is something that I'm going to talk about in April. We don't know what the market will be like in April at this time, but what I will tell you is that we are seeing signs today that suggest that there's an opportunity coming. The number of mortgage delinquencies based on the last quarter, Mark, are up 25% over the same quarter last year. That's what we call a leading indicator, a sign that there will be an opportunity in the future that we investors, newbies, intermediate investors, full-timers, want to make sure we're ready to take advantage of. The last thing I'm going to say before I take your question is this. When these resets occur, arguably the two best ways to make money are bank-owned properties, because most of the deals are REOs, and lease options. Lease options because during resets, recessionary times, it's a much more difficult to flip properties, which makes the lease option the ideal marketing tool and holding tool for investors who want to make money as the market recovers on these properties they bought in bulk below market. And I teach both of these topics. So not only have I not been to CT REIA in a long time, is I may have the two most timely topics that can help you all make money for the real estate market that we're going into in the near future. Mark?
Well, I think you hit the nail on the head, Andy, because obviously here, and by the way, Andy's on the West Coast, so he's seeing it throughout the country. Here in Connecticut, we are seeing that just what you said, that middle class uh, family cannot touch the current price of housing. And now with the new administration coming in January, boy, there could be just such a change that I don't know if you think you can predict it. What do you think is going to happen with this new administration?
Well, I'm going to be completely honest, Mark. I'll probably be the least arrogant and egotistical guru you've ever put on stage. So I'm going to answer that question. I don't know. I can't predict the future. So when I do these seminars, I talk about preparing for the next reset. Everybody asks the questions that you're asking, and it's really a great question. Andy, when? The honest answer is, I don't know. I don't have a crystal ball. I don't know when the reset's going to start, how deep it will look. If it will be due to new policies that we see from the administration, if it will be due to a global event that hasn't happened yet being the catalyst, or if it will just be general economic, the winds of the economy that affect what happens. And if you look at historically, there was a catalyst. We had the savings and loan collapse in the 80s. We had the dot-com bubble burst in 1999. We had the banking collapse and the Great Recession that started with the collapse of Lehman Brothers, which was the catalyst in 2008. So what we see here is that it was less to do with administration, and it was more to do with something that happened in the future that began this reset. But the point I want to make for all of you that can get you excited is that these resets don't just happen. There is a catalyst, but there's signs that the reset will occur. And the two number one signs, number one, the lack of affordability, which we're seeing right now. Number two is when individuals begin to get behind on their mortgages. And we're seeing a very significant increase year in, year out to the mortgage delinquencies. Both of these are signs that a reset is coming. Exactly when it starts, how deep it will go, I don't have a crystal ball. What I can tell all of you, if you're a newbie and you want to invest, maybe you're frustrated because there's not a lot of deals out there, don't be. If you're an intermediate investor, you've got 3, 4, 5, but now you want to have 30, 40, 50, and you're frustrated because you're not finding a lot of deals right now, don't be. If you're a seasoned or full-time investor and you're not finding as many deals today as you like to find, don't be. One of the most powerful bits of advice I can give you is be patient. Wait for that reset. Wait for the deals to be there and be plentiful, and then do your buy-in. But the reason why this workshop is so timely and important is if you look at investors who do make money in real estate, they are ready. They've got their model ready. They've got their financing lined up. They got their exit strategies detailed before the resets occur. So they're in a position to take advantage of when it happens. In other words, you don't want to wait for the reset. You got to prepare now for a reset that is likely coming, because we are seeing some of these signs, leading indicators. So not only will I be teaching my model, I'll let you give the weekend and how to register, Mark, but not only will I be teaching my model in April 2025, together with Alan, who will talk about raising private money for your investing, I'll also be talking about the timeliness of the market, what we're seeing. I'm sure there'll be a few differences in April, but I'll be talking about what we all can do today to position ourselves to take advantage when markets give us these opportunities to invest, and these opportunities typically carry a start time and an end point. So you want to be ready now for the opportunity that's coming.
Andy, I can't tell you how much I'm looking forward to this. This is something different that we're trying as well with the two of you, Alan and yourself teaming up. I think it's going to be a great weekend, the end of April. We're still looking right now for a hotel, but we need a room big enough to seat all these people. I'm expecting triple digit number of attendees. So I'm going to get some of your books if you're willing to autograph those for the people who end up coming early, who sign up early. I'm going to give books away to the people who sign up early. If you promise me that you will autograph those books for them.
You give me time to autograph, I'll do it. So just to put some meat behind what Mark said, we have two great books, and one of them, in particular, the one that Mark was talking about, it talks about the math behind buying properties, so that you make sure that you're buying your properties low enough and you never overpay. You cannot get this book for less than $19 on Amazon, and CT REIA will give it to you for free to come and let us teach you about making money in real estate. I will say one more thing, Mark. Alan and I have done these weekends in the past, and it's very rewarding for me as an educator now, almost 2 decades, when you get compliments from REIA members when you return to a REIA, and they'd say, "Hey, Andy, you helped make me money, and I saw you 5 years ago and got your system, and now we're doing A, B, C, and D." There's nothing more complimentary and powerful for an educator to hear. I want to tell all of you that the students who used to come to these weekend workshops when we've done them, and I think we did one in Connecticut 15 years ago. They say this is the most educational and powerful workshop they've ever been to. It's only the two of us. I do the morning sessions on Saturday and Sunday morning, and Alan takes over after lunch. So register early. You get a free book from CT REIA. It's not a gift from me, it's from CT REIA. But come, be excited. Make sure you circle that weekend on your calendar so that you are available, ideally for the full amount of time for both days.
Andy, I'm really looking forward to this, the end of April. And folks, we're going to have more information about this as we get closer to the last weekend in April. So stay tuned. This has been a great couple of minutes with you, Andy. I really appreciate your time, and I'm looking forward to it. And believe me, guys, a full weekend with Andy and Alan is, I don't know what to say. Like you can't match that. It puts the whole system together. Andy, I know you got another meeting coming up. I'm going to let you go, but thank you very much. We'll talk to you soon.
Mark, thank you. And to all of you at CT REIA and the guests, I hope to see you in April. And I will promise you the most engaging, educational, and timely real estate investing workshop you've ever attended. I know that's a heck of a statement, but you got to be there to make it happen. See you soon.
Thanks, Andy.
Bye, Mark.